Hi, this is Sarah Lynn with True Aura, and today we're going to show you this set over here called the 'Tis the Season to Be Glam, and we're going to do the application of the After Midnight eyeshadow. So what we'll do is, my face is already primed. I'm going to do one side of my face. This is the other side that I did in a video earlier with the coffee shop, okay? But now we're going to do the scarlet lipstick, the highlight and bronzer, the rouge blush, the After Midnight eyeshadow. And remember, these are 25% off, normally $115, on sale for $86. All right, let's get started. Okay, so primed already. I always do prime my eyes, and then I prime my eyes, and then I do my eyeshadow. But for speed today, I already primed and put my foundation on my face. But normally I'll wait. I do my eyes first because I don't like the fallout on my face that then mixes in with my foundation. It's a pain in the butt to have to just wash all that off again. And so just for ease of a day, I today have already done my eyebrows, my mascara, my foundation, and I just did a little bit of eyeliner underneath here, but I always come back and touch up with the powder anyway. I forgot I did that ahead of time, sorry. Okay, so these are the three brushes that I'll be using for doing our makeup. So can you see those okay? I'll come closer too, but there's definite difference in them. So this is a little puffy. This is a little tight but pointed. This is tinier, tight but pointed, okay? And those are what make the putting on the blush so easy. Or excuse me, eyeshadow so easy. So we're gonna go with After Midnight here. And we're going to start with this lightest shade. And this is going to be a shimmery one, so not everybody's going to be able to use it as I am at the moment because I don't have a lot of crepiness to my eye. This is a more dramatic look. So what I'm doing is I'm putting the white from lashes to brow. And what I will do is, I love these eyeshadows because they're buildable. So I'm not going to put it real heavy on the eye from the crease of my eye to the eyelid. In fact, I'm going to puff that off just a little bit. Another thing I use a lot, you'll see me use a lot, is something called a color switch. And what you do is you just twirl your brush in, and now it's ready, it's clean for another color. And so just to kind of bring that shimmer out a little bit, off a little bit, I'm just going to take and puff with a puffier brush, blend with the brush. I like the white inside my eye. Look at the difference already. White brightens and highlights. Deep colors darken, okay? So the next thing we're gonna do is, this is such an intense one. It's hard for me not to mix this with the coffee shop. I love the two together. My personal preference is to use the coffee shop, but I use a lot of After Midnight, but I use a lot of the coffee shop kind of to accentuate and to calm it down, because After Midnight is very dramatic. Okay, so now I'm going to take the brown, tip it into the brown with my pointy brush, not the tiny one. I'm going to start kind of in the middle of the outside edge, and that is such a good brown. You're afraid of it when you first see it because it's so dark. I'm like, oh, and then it goes on your skin. You're like, okay, that's a good one. Okay, that is a great look for just so I just tipped in a tiny bit again, starting in the outside corner, bringing it up and over. That is such a good color for density because you're not going to use a lot of it. And this is a good, easy look for just out the door now, not even have to do anything extra. So because of my eye shape, I know where to place the eyeshadow. Please talk to your consultant if you see this video and you want some help on how to do eyes based on eyeshadow or based on eye shape. Okay, so that's an easy out the door look, really pretty. It's much more dramatic in real life than it is on camera, and I have to go somewhere. So I'm not going to do it as dramatic as any more dramatic than that. Okay, so now a really cool thing to do, I've already cleaned this, but I always like to double check because it sure messes up your eyeshadow if you're on the wrong color on your brush. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that blue, dip it in just a tiny, tiny little bit. Look how it's just on the one side there. Okay, and I'm just going to make a dot in the corner, and then take that up here, and then just take a little bit over to the eye. So can you see that V? Very nice V. Such nice brushes for what we're doing here. Talk to your consultant again. She'll guide you on brushes. So there's a V. That's awesome. Perfect eye. Not my eye, that eyeshadow. I love that eyeshadow. It takes such a tiny, tiny little bit. Look how pretty that looks. Okay, let's get rid of the other face, the other eye, half of my face. So very pretty eyeshadow. Very pretty. Now I feel that it's a little dark right in this corner. So I'm going to take my bronzer. I love the bronzer for this too. I'm just going to clean my brush. I'm using the biggest pointy brush. I'm tipping into this color of the bronzer right here and lightening up this inside of the eye a little bit. Look how much better that looks. This bronzer is fantastic for using as like your base of your eyeshadow. I prime with it actually. Okay, so I just softened that up right here where that dark brown was coming in, just softened it up a little bit. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pointiest brush. I use this water that Gary Jones suggests is in an aerosol can because it's great mineral water. Just spray a little bit on my makeup area and take my pointiest brush now and just tip it in a tiny bit. And I love to take just a little bit of the shimmer and just put it in the peak of my eyebrow. Look how pretty that looks. It just finishes it off. You have to blend it a little bit, no lines. So blend it out a little bit. Okay, cool. So this is Coffee Shop and this is After Midnight. Excellent. This is out too far. You can see so much in the camera. It makes me pick at my makeup. Okay, so let's do our blush next. So we're using the Rouge blush. And what I'm going to do is I haven't done this side of my face yet. So I'm going to take this lightest color. I'm just tipping it in on the side. These are my two brushes that I use for blush. One that's a bit puffier, one that's a bit tighter. Okay, look at those again. Puffy, tight. Okay. So I just take that little bit of color and always kind of start in the middle and then work it back and forth. Blush should look like it's coming from underneath, like a part of your skin. It shouldn't look like it's sitting on top. Actually, I like more color than the other side. Okay, that's awesome. Such a pretty color, just barely there. You don't want it to be just like it's jumping out at you. And you always take and soften blush with a sponge. I mean, always. You can't skip that step because you get out the door and if the brush didn't lay it on there correctly, now it falls off in one area. The working of the sponge pushes it in and really works it in. Okay, it's much more seeable in real life, but you can see how I just have a nice cheek highlight of the nice cheek, upper cheek area, the upper bone. Okay, so then I'm going to take the next darkest color again, just softly. It takes the tiniest little bit because it's such a dense color for my coloring. Women of darker color would need more blush. That's the cool thing. Don't be overwhelmed by the color density because it just means you use less. It'll last longer, right? So that's exciting. Okay, now the darker color you can just put underneath to kind of push the cheek up. Okay, just pops the cheek up. Look at how that's just building. It's buildable makeup, which is so awesome. Okay, that's it on my blush. Now, I love the bronzer. You might notice I have them all in my Z palette, so I can just keep working right out of it. There's a whole video on that and how to take them out and put them in a Z palette. I'm cleaning my brushes so that they're ready for my bronzer. I love these two brushes again. So I'm going to use a little bit tighter brush to be able to come in with this one. These are the bronzers. I'm going to take the little bit lighter one of the two dark ones and put it now underneath that brown or the darker red blush area. So it's like you're creating this whole cheek, right? Look how pretty that looks. And then underneath, oops, wrong color. Underneath, you always want to take the darkest color. A lot of women have these little jowl things right where your smile lines end, and then you just darken that. Just an extra boost of dark. See how that does? And then that way it's not as obvious. I'm trying to find the camera. When you look straight in the camera. It needs blending, of course, but okay, but this is how you always put the bronzer on the jawline, underneath the chin, underneath the jaw, but always on the jawline. Okay, I'm leaving it pretty dark. I'll blend it later, but I'm leaving it dark so that you can see where I put it. And then you just work it in. I love a second brush that's only for blending. I love this brush. What I'll do is just drag it over top of it and work it all in perfectly. Look, now there's no definite line, but there it adds depth to a neck that just doesn't end, or you want some definition to your jawline. It's a fantastic way to stop the flow of the neck and create the face, okay? All right, so if I were, had my hair pulled back, we have a bronzing video that shows just how you bronze your face. You can define your nose and make your face look wider, smaller, more round, more V'd, more heart shape with bronzer. Okay, but that's all I'm going to do with the bronzer now, just because this would be an easy out the door look. All right, the last step is lipstick. And oh, there it is. Okay, so this lipstick that we're going to be using is called Scarlet. It is gorgeous. It's a nice deep red, blue red. Okay, so love that. So look at the depth of that. This is the Scarlet, this is the Orchid. So two very, very popular colors with True Aura. I love the red. You could not find a better red. I have used reds for 28 years, more than that actually, because I didn't use them before the company I was in before it closed, because I was afraid of them. But once you know you got the right red and the red that's in season, because some reds are kind of orange at different years, and they're kind of, wow, someone needs me. They're more red or more blue, and this red is what's the color of this year. Okay, so ours came out in the fall. So, all right, that's it. Let's see. I should do my before. So this is the one with the After Midnight. Okay, and then this is the one with Coffee Shop. Let's see, do I need to do this? There we go. Coffee Shop. After Midnight. Okay, thank you for joining me. Have a great day.